Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and there's only one way to say this. It is on like Donkey Kong, because what I'm going to lay out for you today is really astounding. I mean, I don't use words like that much, but it's literally astounding, because the rabbit hole has led us to a place that we didn't even want to go. In fact, I tweeted this out that you're looking at last night. I mentioned it on my show, but worth repeating. I want all these good digital asset products to succeed, including Bitcoin and Ethereum. All we want or ever wanted is a level playing field for digital assets, all of them, XRP, Cardano, Ethereum, Bitcoin, or any other digital asset. And I said, Gary Gensler, in this mess, because you know it's a mess. Everybody knows it's a mess. Charles Gasparino said it's a mess. Seeking Alpha said it's a mess. I said it's a bizarre mess. It is a total mess, and the reason it's a mess is because it's grounded in dishonesty, and everybody now knows it. And that is all. Listen, this was me following Ripple and XRP. Then we get this lawsuit. I was almost forced into talking about this when I didn't want to. And as this thing has gone along, it has become so disgusting to me that now it's transcended almost into, I'm just sickened for what the future for my children looks like in this country, with these people intentionally burying their head in the sand and acting like everything's clear when they know it's not. Because that tells me that my children have a scary future, and it really pisses me off, like I told you yesterday. So I'm going to show you the fruits of me being pissed off now, because this is ridiculous and there's no excuse for it. And I can't believe that the media has not, except for Charles Gasparino and Fox Business, I can't believe the media nor any of the Congress people have clamped down on these people. I can't believe it. It blows my mind. Well, here you go. Anybody from Congress, any of you traditional media out there that seem to have no conscience, it's time to watch. Because here we go. So first, I've got to start with this. I wanted to show this because a lot of people yesterday thought that Charles Gasparino, when he came out with this, that Jay Clayton was he was deferring to his SEC enforcement. Now, here's what I do think is possible, and partly because of the documents I'm going to show you at the end of this video. What I do think is possible is that Jay Clayton intentionally told these people, I don't want my name anywhere in it, so that he could throw his hands up, because I think it's possible that he could have easily played it that way. I don't want my name in it. Or he could have told the people that were sending the documents, I don't want my name in it, copy it to those people, and, quote, given himself some kind of plausible deniability. Maybe that's possible. I don't know. Maybe that's the way the game's played. But this is the direction that Charles Gasparino was taken by whoever he talked to. And everybody below his tweets were going, you were on the right path, now you're getting colder. And he says, stay tuned. Charles, I can tell just from listening to Charles Gasparino and seeing the words he's been using, he's no dummy. I think he's a real street smart guy, and he's real smart on top of it. So have faith in Charles Gasparino. That's just my observation. Okay. And by the way, I have had no direct communication with Charles Gasparino. I'm sure he has seen a lot of my tweets. Okay, now here's where it starts, folks, and I showed this to you yesterday, but you have to see it again. This is Nancy Wotas, I hope I'm saying her name right, partner at Cooley LLP. You have to see this again to really understand where we're going here.
We've been very much engaged with the SEC on a number of fronts, one of them being Andreessen Horowitz reached out to the chairman when he made a speech at Stanford saying, we're going after the lawyers, we're going after the accountants, and sat down with him. And what the chairman of the SEC said was, look, form a small working group and come up with some suggestions. pretty much saying, look, we're tired of talking to people about the Howey test. Put some real practical suggestions together.
That's the first point, folks. What do you mean you're tired of talking about the Howey test? All you've ever done is talked about how the Howey test it's important. It's helped us for all these years since the 30s, and it's still important. It's at the core. Hey, and I remember Jay Clayton many times. We've got a multi-trillion-dollar economy. I think we know what we're doing. Well, he always referred to the Howey test. No reason to change that test now. That's what he said. But now they're telling these attorneys behind the scenes that we're tired of talking about the Howey test. In other words, give us something new.
Andreessen Horowitz, together with Union Square Ventures, sat down with 3 law firms, McDermott, Will & Emery, Perkins Coie, and Cooley, all of whom had a fairly significant crypto practice, together with 2 academics, Joe Grunfest and Adam, as well as NVCA, and we sat down and came up with a safe harbor that we felt we could, in fact, suggest to the SEC that they start their thinking in that direction. And we submitted that. Perkins Coie.
Okay, you heard that name of that law firm? She names all the law firms. Okay, but I want to make a point here. There's nothing wrong with law firms getting together and forming a group and going to the SEC to help them create guidance for whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem comes in when you've got people that are aligned, when there's competitors in this space, and you've got people that are aligned with one of the competitors, and then the result of what you've gotten with the SEC on only helps one of them to the exclusion of everybody else. That's where the problem comes in here. That's where the real problem comes in here. But there's another problem, and that's what she says next.
In a memo, and if any of you don't have those materials, just let me know. I can email them to you. They were supposed to be confidential and submitted to the SEC. Within days, they were public. In fact,
and that's another point I want to show you. She just said these memos were supposed to be confidential, but then they went public. And so what I'm showing you is public. I just had to look for it because it's almost like somebody didn't want people to know where it was.
As the newspaper reporters were calling me, I'm going, oh my God, how did that get out? And all of us were immediately reaching out to Andreessen Horowitz.
Now, why are they trying to keep it so secret? That's another problem.
We didn't send it, honest. But the really valuable work product at this point, and the reason I mention that is Director Hinman's speech that I'm sure everybody at least is familiar with or has heard about. Most of what he says in there came out of the safe harbor as well as the meetings that we had with him. So
there's a problem. And the reason that's a problem is because Hinman said this was just his personal opinion, and they've been very closed-mouthed about any of this, and they weren't, to my knowledge, up front with any of this. They could have been, but to my knowledge, they weren't. Now, so here we go. John Deaton was retweeting one of my tweets here because as a result of her video, I went and found, somebody sent me this. Venture capital firms seek regulatory shelter for digital token startups. This article is in reference to exactly what she said in that video. So we go back to John Deaton. So John Deaton, which I really appreciate, he was being funny here. He says, gives certain individuals, digital asset investor gives certain individuals with title designations regarding his YouTube channel, such as the official cool guy of the digital asset investor channel. Well, I'm designating DAI as the official private investigator of Crypto Law US. So I now have my own title. I'm the official private investigator of John Deaton's law firm, Crypto Law US. Okay? Now, I don't know what the exact name of his law firm is, but anyway, we'll go with it, okay? Now, we also have an interesting reply right here because Wrath of Kahneman says, whoa, seems they had some opinions on Hinman's speech, called it regulatory clarity even, okay? The people that sent him the memo called it regulatory clarity. Okay, so here we go. This is the document, okay? And then John Deaton also weighed in here, and he says if anyone has a copy of the memo, okay? Now the memo is this. Let me show you. Because I asked the lady that was in that video, Nancy Wotas, this morning, I said, you mentioned in crypto regulation panel on September 12, 2019, that you had a copy of a safe harbor memo that was used to formulate the Bill Hinman speech. I would like a copy of it if possible. And this is from that article I just showed you. The request came via a 49-page memo sent to senior SEC staff March 26 by law firm Perkins Coie, I don't know if that's how you say that, Coie, I don't know, which represents different stakeholders. And again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with law firms getting involved in sending the SEC memos to do it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about all the circumstances around this that are the problem. Okay? Now, and so John Deaton was also asking for the memo. Well, guess what? John Deaton, somebody sent him the memo because John Deaton sent it to me this morning. So kudos to John Deaton. This guy is like a pit bull. Okay, well, first, before I get into that, though, this is an article from 6/22/2018, a few days after the Hinman speech, where Perkins Coie, senior SEC official, provides regulatory clarity for digital assets. Well, there was two things in this article that drew my attention immediately because I was not aware of them. The first one is this. I think this was the first one I found. Gold's, this is one of the Gary Goldshoel, senior advisor to director of trading and markets at the SEC. He reiterated, here it is, Goldshoel reiterated Hinman's position that something can transform from a security to a non-security, but he also made sure to also add that the same instrument could transfer back into a security if the facts and circumstances changed yet again. That's the first thing that jumped out at me, so I sent this out. I wanted Gary Gensler to have a whistleblower alert from me because they're giving out money if you blow the whistle on securities violations. Well, this is a violation. Whistleblower alert. I want my reward. Ethereum 2.0 is a security. A security can become a non-security. So Ethereum was issued as a security. It became a non-security according to Hinman. Okay. Then it can transform back into a security. Ethereum 2.0. They still haven't released it. You can't coordinate something that's decentralized. So here's my evidence that it's a security. From the Perkins Coie document, that's the document. What I just read to you is one of the SEC senior advisor to the director of trading and markets. He says right here, made sure to also add that the same instrument could transform back into a security if the facts and circumstances changed yet again. Well, the facts and circumstances have changed because according to Joseph Lubin on November 4th, 2020 in his Twitter feed, he says that coordinating the genesis of Ethereum 2.0 has been no small undertaking. Then he refers to involving 5 different client teams, researchers, auditors, and a whole community of testnet validators. And he's coordinating he and I guess some of his people are coordinating it. Well, I made the point, you can't coordinate something that's decentralized. That's the whole point, isn't it? So that's the first problem I ran into just in this document. I won't call this a problem, but something I wasn't aware of. On the very same day as Hinman's speech in San Francisco, Valerie Chapinick of the SEC's new senior advisor for digital assets and innovation, and Gary Goldshoel, senior advisor to the director of trading and markets, corroborated Director Hinman's remarks while speaking at a panel event in Washington, D.C. on Capitol Hill. So what we did here is I decided to go find that. And here it is. This company is MSK.com. MSK's Capital Crypto, okay? And you'll see that this did occur June 14th, 2018. Join us, okay? The same day, almost as if everybody at the SEC, you got remember what my favorite SEC commissioner Robert Jackson said. Remember he said, "Oh, I'm so proud of what they did with the ICOs." You got the Hinman speech. He said Jay Clayton goes out and he tells everybody that ICOs They're all securities as far as I can see. And then you got the Hinman speech. And then you got the FinHub. Well, looks like you also got Valerie Chapinick and Gary Goldsholl going and giving a talk where they are corroborating, what was the word used here? They are, corroborated Director Hinman's remarks while speaking at a panel event in Washington, D.C. So, I think I asked, so I put that out and I said, well, anyone know where there's a copy of this video? I would like to hear how they corroborated Hinman's speech, because he said it's his personal opinion. And that's another part of the big problem here. And then there was this that I think I showed you yesterday, where this same law firm, and this is where the problems are. There's nothing wrong with this law firm advising the SEC, in my opinion. I don't know how all this works, but I just know there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem comes in to me that maybe it's just a perception problem, but they're in the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. They give the memos, and then at the same time the other memo, which is the safe harbor memo, and then out of that comes not safe harbor for other digital assets, just for Ethereum and tokens built on Ethereum, from what I can tell. That is a problem. And then you sue Ripple in December 2020 after 8 years of trying to work with you. And the other problem is, where was Ripple in all of this? Did Ripple get to be involved in submitting these documents? Did Ripple's attorneys? I don't know. Maybe they did. Did Ripple? I'd like to see that. Maybe they could give us something where they don't black that part out. You see what's going on here, folks? Wait till you see this. So I said personal opinion. I kind of teased this today. This is the memo. This is the header of the Perkins Coie memo. It went to on March 26th. Now remember, Hinman's speech was on June 14th, 2018. And he said it was his personal opinion. March 26th, to Director Hinman and Amy Starr and Valerie Chapinick, from them, investment contract analysis of utility tokens. On that same day, all right, and he's tweeting out about this too, but on that same day, this one, I believe, was sent to the SEC as well. And this one, to me, is more interesting. Is more interesting than the other. In fact, let's see what John Deaton has to say about it. He says, the safe harbor is gold for fair notice defense and to disprove Gary Gensler and SEC's claim the law was clear. Read the pink highlights. Note FN2's applicability to XRP. The SEC would also benefit from clarity. It's my favorite line. Okay, so he's got all, I'm not going to go through what he's got here. I'm going to go through that later, and I haven't read all that yet. But what I did do is go through it myself. And what I'm about to show you should jump off the page for you. Okay? This document was interesting enough, investment contract analysis of tokens, but this is not the one. Remember what Nancy Wotas said. She said that most of what went, or at least some of what went into the Hinman speech, was from the safe harbor document and the conversations that she and other attorneys had with him. Now that's what she said. I'm not saying it. She said that, okay? Because I wasn't there. So this is the venture capital working group. This is the one where they was talking about Andreessen Horowitz and the other company, right? And remember, what came out of Hinman's speech was there was no safe harbor for anybody that I'm aware of besides Ethereum and tokens that were being launched and are continuing to be launched off of Ethereum. So I've told you since the inception of this channel that in my old age, at age 47, I've learned that words mean things. So I decided that what I would do is pull up Hinman's words from his Hinman speech. And remember, this is all his personal opinion according to him. And I would look through some of the words, okay? And compare them to the words in this document. So what we'll start with is, I'm going to start with the word function, okay? And what you'll see here is once tokens have achieved either full functionality or full decentralization, what you're looking at is the safe harbor document sent to the SEC before a couple months before the Hinman speech, right? Pre-functionality, full functionality. I'm just going through and scanning this. Full functionality, functionality, stage of a token functionality. Functionality. There's functionality all over this document, folks. Well, let's go and check out, see if that word is in his speech anywhere. It's in here 10 times. Token or coin will function is not yet operational. Functionality, the network, participants who need the functionality. Token or coin is to function insufficiently, and to function is sufficiently decentralized. Network to which Bitcoin function. Tokens or coins that function on them as securities. Functional network. Establish a functional network. Functionality. Let's read this one. Does the promoter continue to expand funds from proceeds or operation to enhance the functionality? Is the digital asset so they function more like a consumer item? Let's see if we've got any more here. Let's see here. Is the application fully functioning, or is it in the early stages of development? And then we have one more. Token or coin will function is not yet operational. Are you seeing a pattern here yet, folks? Because I'm not even done yet. Okay? There's another word that I thought was really fascinating in here. Let's look at this one. Consumptive. The word consumptive is in the safe harbor document 5 times. Right here it says the safe harbor would be non-exclusive, as there will be tokens clearly purchased for consumptive purposes, such as non-fungible, tokenized goods and services. Let's go to the next one. Let me see here. Reasonable purchaser is purchasing with consumptive intent. Now remember that. Consumptive intent. That's an interesting couple of words. Consumptive intent, as opposed to investment intent, would generally be established if the purchaser is only able to use the token for its intended purpose and not able to resell the token for profit. The existence of consumptive intent was a key determinant, for example, and they're giving you a case. Okay? Let's go one more. The existence of consumptive intent. So let's look and look in the document here. Let's see, I need to go back. Let's just look at consumpt. I'll do there because there's roots. Well, here he says, acknowledge that if someone is purchasing an asset, this is the Hinman speech, for consumpt only, what do they say here? Consumption only, right? Let me go back up, I'm sorry. Consumption only, and then here. But Howie was not selling oranges in warehouses. Receipt promoters were not selling whiskey for consumption. All right, and then we keep going. Then it's in here 5 times. It is clear that the primary motivation for purchasing a digital asset is for personal use or consumption. As compared to investment, have purchasers made representations as to their consumptive as opposed to their investment intent. Now let's go back. That's where they're going back. Let's go back and look here, because they said, ooh man, it's so in your face. Let me go back. Here we go. This is from the safe harbor document. Consumptive intent. These are the footnotes of the safe harbor document. Consumptive intent as opposed to investment intent. And here is the speech from Bill Hinman. Have purchasers made representations as to their consumptive as opposed to their investment intent. Consumptive intent as opposed to investment intent. Folks, does my 9-year-old need to draw you a freaking picture? This pisses me off. Why did we have to find this stuff? Why are we having to look this up? Now, what was the whole point of the speech? Decentralization. Decentralization is mentioned in the safe harbor document 10 times. Full decentralization. They've got a whole section on it. If token achieves full decentralization, not all will. The token would fall entirely outside Howey since there is no longer an issuer or promoter delivering. Decentralization, decentralization. It's all over this document, folks. And what did he talk about in this thing? What did he talk about and how many times? 7 times in his document. Decentralized, 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 decentralized. This whole paragraph on Ethereum, decentralized structure, decentralized structure. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor, and I'm not an attorney either. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that I am literally disgusted, and you should be too. This is a travesty. And Gary Gensler, if you're not too arrogant to be listening to me, drop this case, settle the case. I'm not interested in doing this anymore. I want to go back to my life. I want to talk about digital assets. I was led here by a passion for this. I do not want to be doing this. You know, I really don't. I want all these things to do well. I want Bitcoin and Ethereum. I want all these digital assets, if they have the tech that is deserving of them going to the next level, to do well. All of them. This is a sham, and everybody knows it. Thanks for listening.